From New York City, it's the Wendy Williams Show. Now, here's Wendy!
It is what it is. Hi, thanks for watching. Say hello to my co-host, my senior audience. How you doing? I'm doing okay. Let's get started. It's time for... Yep. Thank you. So, here's the deal. I really think that Billy Bush got a raw deal. And I've said this in the beginning when, you know, that whole grab a woman by her P word, he and Trump were in the bus. You remember, that was like 3 years ago. So he's 46 years old right now, and to the best of my knowledge, he's still unemployed. I'm sure he's been taking interviews and things like that, and who wouldn't want to hire Billy Bush? I mean, that was Donald Trump egging him on. I mean, he did fall into it, but how is Billy Bush unemployed for 3 years, but Donald Trump is president? How does that work? They were both on the same bus. Anyway, he and his wife, Sydney, Billy, by the way, is 46, are getting a divorce. Well, I guess she's probably had it. Well, there was a lot going on in our morning meeting. A lot of people felt like Sydney is not sticking by him. You know, when you when you marry somebody, you stick by them. But unemployment for 3 years, and then the attitude that probably goes along with it, you know, you wake up in the morning, you scratch, and then you find the darkest room in your house with the TV, and you're sitting there all day, not depressed, but sad. And then she's like, you know, Billy, we have children. They're here in the house. Can you get up? Can you at least make, I mean, their kids are, they have 3 girls. I know them. 19, 17, and 13. It's bad enough that he had to explain what happened 3 years ago to the girls. But all in all, I don't know. If I was Sydney, I'd be ghost too. I'll tell you why. I don't need this attitude. She's a stay-at-home wife taking care of the girls. I just wouldn't be able to tolerate it, and I feel bad for them because prior to this all happening, we never heard anything bad about, you know, their marriage or anything like that. But it's got to be tough to stick by somebody who's so driven, and they've been unemployed for 3 years, continuing to go to interviews and continuing to do stuff in terms of, you know, trying to propel their career, and nobody's calling you back. So you could see where Billy probably isn't the easiest guy to be married to. Do you think they sleep in the same bed? No. And that probably stopped 3 years ago. I can't take it. But Billy Bush, I like you. And I do think that you're employable. And Sydney, I agree with you. You just divorce him and you and the girls move on with your lives and the girl, yeah, you know what I mean? Clap if you would divorce him. Clap if you would stick by him. All right. Did you have a nice weekend? I think I caught one of those summer colds. You know, when it's cold in the house and then you go outside to the mailbox or you're just outside for a moment, it's all sweaty and sticky outside, and then you run back inside and it's freezing and you're not exactly sure why it is that you're so tired and achy and your nose won't stop running and your eyes are red. And I got an earache, too. Doesn't help that I'm in the loudest place in the world, though, which would be this show. Alas, I power on. So... So Azealia Banks is lashing out at Nick Cannon. Who lashes out at Nick Cannon? Oh. Hi, Nick. So Azealia went on Nick's show, Wilding Out. And we won't see this because they tape, so it might be several months before we actually see it. But the cast and the guests roast each other. That's what they do there. I've been on Wilding Out before, you know, and I thought that the biggest roasting that they gave me was making fun of me because they put me on a mechanical bull. And I'm riding the bull, and I'm doing my best. But, you know, everybody there was wonderful and nice, but I think this is a show like Iggy, Azealia. Azealia, if you knew you were going on Wilding Out, like, why didn't you look at what Wilding Out is all about before you went on, you know? They roasted her, though, and anyway, she posted I think she performed, and then they made fun of her. They talked about her skin complexion. They talked about, what else they talk about?
They talked about, they just made fun of her looks in general.
And they made her cry. Well, she says that this is why she doesn't let N-words near her. Then she posted, if I were to make fun of Nick Cannon for having lupus and being weak and sickly, if I made a joke that said he'd be dead by the end of the year, then Azealia Banks is the bad guy, right? Yeah, you would be the bad guy. Yeah. So then Nick posted, don't hate when you create your own storms, but forgot an umbrella. We pray for you, Queen. And then she clapped back. Take a look.
And Nick Cannon, you don't have to pray for me. Pray for your immune system, okay? You don't have to pray for me, bitch.
Okay, sorry, I missed everything. Apparently my hair was on the microphone. Can you hear me? Testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2. This is a very noisy robe with a negligee, you know. I love a negligee. I've got like 20 of the same one, black all the time with a nice lacy bra. I walked into work like this and swapped the one that I walked into work for this one. They're all the same. And then you put on a robe when it's a little chillier out. And then in the winter, you wear a nice glamorous coat or something like that. But there's nothing easier than slipping into a negligee and going to the grocery store. Or whatever, you know? I love them. They're my year-round jam. Anyway, Azealia fights with a lot of celebrities, including, but not limited to, Cardi B, Remy Ma, Rihanna, as you can see, Erykah Badu, Action Bronson, what is it, Beyonce? What is it, Sarah Palin? My thought about Iggy Azalea, and I mean, Azealia Banks, I don't know her, but she seems to be smart, but angry. And her anger seems to be the problem, you know? A lot of times people would rather work with second best, who's not so angry, than first best, you know? And I'm not familiar with her music, I'm just familiar with her anger. Are you familiar with her music? Clap. Yeah, but you know her name, right? Yeah. Well, Azealia, good luck with getting yourself together. And Nick, woo, woo, woo. So, Meghan Markle's father thinks that his daughter is miserable. Now see, Thomas, you're talking too much now, Thomas Markle. He's 73. He spoke out over the weekend. He says that Meghan seems to be under tremendous pressure just looking at pictures of her, you know, because they don't talk anymore. He said, I see it in her eyes. I see it in her face. I see it in her smile. I know her smile. I don't like the one I'm seeing now. Well, I mean, first of all, she's got to contain herself so she can't smile with all teeth showing, because that's un-Buckingham Palace-like. You know, if she smiles like, oh my God, God forbid. She looks happy to me. She looks like a girl who achieved her dream. And I would think, like, Meghan Markle, not for nothing, seems like the kind of girl who wanted this so badly, she would forsake everybody to make sure that she stays there at the palace. You know? Like, it kind of sucks she's not talking to her father. He's all 73 and old. A bit overweight. He had a heart attack 3 days before the wedding. That's why he wasn't there. He was supposed to walk her down the aisle. Meghan invited him to walk her down the aisle. He had a heart attack. He also says the way she dresses is outdated and ridiculous. Well, I mean, when you sign up for the job, this is how you have to dress. Oof. Oof. Thomas said that he's not spoken to Meghan since the wedding and fears that he never will. Take a look.
The phone number that I called, it doesn't work anymore. I guess, liaison with the royal family never answers back, and there's no address I can write to, so I have no way of contacting my daughter. I would like my relationship with Meghan to be like father and daughter, like we've always been. My message would be, I love you, I miss you. I'm sorry for anything that went wrong. I just want to, and I want to be her child's grandfather, and I want to be near them. I want to be a part of their life.
Poor thing. I feel bad for him. After the heart attack, he picks up 2 In-N-Out burgers and a bucket of KFC. Checks into an Airbnb and watches the wedding on TV. Well, you know what? Here's the thing, Thomas. You're not going to be able to have a relationship with your daughter if you keep speaking to the media. Now you've said just enough. She will always know how to get in touch with you. But, yeah, you have to wait for her to come around and get in touch with you, you know? Thomas is thinking of flying to England to see his daughter. Now, see, you're wrong for that. They will arrest you on sight. I like her smile. It's not phony. They didn't want me to mention Ryan Seacrest, but I will. Oh, you know that smile he does. And I like him, but his smile is very disingenuous. Look, they won't even show the picture. They're like, damn that Wendy, we push her out there and she says it anyway. It's the kind of girl I am. Ow. So Meghan's half-sister, Samantha, on the other hand, you know, Samantha is in a wheelchair, and Samantha had been doing a lot of crowing about Meghan prior to them getting married. She wasn't invited to the wedding. But guess what? She's going to be a contestant on Celebrity Big Brother, UK. Oh. Well, no, that show is huge over there. Are you kidding me? Plus, she'll get a little paycheck. I mean, I wish that we could watch it. I don't know anything about her, except that she, at one point, didn't seem to like Meghan and seemed to be very jealous of Meghan. But she reached out to us because she watches the show. Good morning, Samantha. So anyway, she says, I can't talk about anything yet, but I will say that the public had me all wrong. Let's just say I will have an extraordinary amount of fun, meaning being on Big Brother. And then she goes on, part of it says, when she's talking about Hot Topics Bureau, she goes, I'm just a girl, I say it like I mean it, just like Wendy. It's like, oh. Anyway, Big Brother was really smart, I think, to hire her. And people are gonna tune in, even though it's already big over there anyway. I don't know what other celebrities are gonna be in the Big Brother house, but how much more of a celebrity do you get than somebody who has ties to the royals? By the way, Billy Bush, why don't you call your Bush family? He's a Bush in the bush. Yeah, like really, your family has turned their back on you? You can't do anything? Nobody can make a telephone call to Hollywood, all that nepotism that goes on around there, that good white skin? I can't believe, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying, sir. Okay. It's unbelievable. He's been unemployed for 3 years. And he's a Bush in the bush. And even if Donald Trump double backed around and made some phone calls, you know, and had him do something, not necessarily in the White House, but, you know, you're the president, for God's sakes. You guys shared a very special moment. It's been 3 years. His marriage is awry. Somebody help Billy Bush. I'm going to see Taylor Swift on Saturday. I can't wait. Yes, I can't wait. Anyway, so the Countess Luann is being sued by her own children. You heard about this story? It's really something, Countess. And I'm still gonna call you Countess, but you're not acting very Countess-like. So Luann split from the Count. And Luann got their $8 million Bridgehampton mansion. So she promised to set up a trust for the 2 kids after selling the mansion, and she never did. Then what she did was she downsized to a $3.1 million mansion for herself. Money can't buy you class. That was her song. So now, her children are suing her because they want their cut of the money. Her son is 20. You know, if his mustache was just a bit thicker or not at all. It's a bit of a struggle, right? Just a bit. Anyway, his name is Noel, and he's 20 years old, and Victoria, who you've seen on the show many times, on The Housewives, she's 23, and they feel torn, but they feel also that this has got to go down. They were all very close as a family. I mean, even the Count didn't, you know, he divorced her, but he doesn't hate her. You know, and the kids love her. And we shouldn't be hearing about this. You know what I mean? We should not know about this. How do we know about this, Norman?
Because the good people at Page 6 let us know.
And how do they know?
I think when you sue somebody, you dig around to like the court records and stuff.
Oh. Well, look. Now the Count and the kids. The Count, by the way, is doing some suation, I believe, as well, just because, you know, he did not exact her wishes to take care of the kids. So they are forcing Luann to set up a trust and block her from selling her current home. And so I'll be following this. I like Suzanne. I like Suzanne too.
Suzanne.
Hi, Suzanne. But, you know, I just feel like, Luann, hurry up and get this all settled. Right now, like, you have gone from being Countess-like to being a DWI'er, you know, that relationship with Tom D'Agostino. You know, you've just kind of like really spiraled over the past few years. It's time to get up, girl, brush yourself off and do the right thing. I don't know that I'll be shaking hands today. Well, no, I don't have the cough, so I guess they're not germy. All right, I'll shake. People who aren't here always say, your audience, why do they clap for every damn thing? I don't know. Anyway, so Bill Cosby's neighbors called the cops on him over the weekend. Well, on Thursday. He had a big, well, I don't know how big it was, but because I only saw a few people and they were all men. And then there's Bill, dressed as the Pope. Anyway, so he had some sort of big party at his mansion to celebrate his 81st birthday on Thursday. He had a 5-piece jazz band, and they played loud music starting at 7 a.m. The music was so loud that the neighbors called the cops. On one hand, I say, you know, well, he's on house arrest. He should just stay in the house and not bother anybody. And then maybe he won't do time, even though I do think he's gonna do time. I don't want him to do time. He's too old. Put him on a nice house arrest, tell him no more parties. I told you, put him on a house arrest. How about in a studio apartment? Not one with fine finishings. Just, you know, like a college kid would live in. It seems like he's thumbing his nose at the court system. Like, why would you have the music playing that early? Why are you even having a party? And I guess he says, well, if I'm going to jail anyway, I might as well rock out. It's a tough one, but he is gonna do some time. We find out about that. He goes back to court on September 24th. That's when he's gonna be sentenced. You ready? Yeah! We got more great show for you, everybody. Yeah. We've got juicy details on a big cheating scandal, 2 of them. Future got caught with a mystery woman, and then Snoop Dogg proposition an Instagram model. That story is very fishy to me, and that's coming up, okay? That's coming up in the Inside Scoop. But up next, it's time for Hot Topic Sound Off. So grab a snack and